Now,
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Now. Calling all angels. Now. Calling all you angels.
I'm an addict and alcoholic. My name's John.
Hi, John.
And I'd like you to, my co-host, to introduce herself.
Oh, I'm Joy. I'm an alcoholic.
Very good, Joy. Before we start our first segment, we want to thank everybody for supporting Rated R for Recovery. All our sponsors, JCI Solutions, Next Step, Brian Edwards, criminal defense attorney, Shamrock Bail Bondsman, Phoenix House. The program of Celebrate Recovery is a big sponsor of ours. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have partnered, and it's no longer being a partner, it's a show with Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
I don't know what that means.
If you've wondered what we're getting yourself into, we're a faith-driven program, recovery-based, bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Who's our entertainment?
Well, we have a very special guest entertainer tonight, Nashville recording artist, Alan and Kelly Shrivel.
Oh, yes.
For those of you that might be in sober living or have to get your sheets signed or felony drug court, we are approved.
We
Joy.
give autographs, yeah.
We are approved. We're approved, so you can get your sheet signed here. But hopefully you come here because you want to come. And that was my experience with meetings. In the beginning, I had to go to meetings, and then I wanted to go to meetings. And
Okay.
actually, let's, without further ado, let's introduce our first guest. It took a while to get him on the show because he's so busy. He's like the President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mike P. to the show. We've known each other for like a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hang out on a regular basis, but that's okay.
We can.
So we're gonna start at the beginning and then get to where you are today. It kind of like in a speaker meeting, we say in a general way what we used to be like. What did you used to be like?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me.
You're
Both
welcome.
of you.
Oh, you're welcome. Don't turn your head back and forth.
Sorry. I'm honored to be here, and what you guys have done is incredible. So thank you. Thank you.
We love having you.
Thank
we
you.
do.
Yeah. So what I was like, I was a young kid trying to find his way when I found drugs and alcohol.
How old were you when you first started? What are you, like 20 now? What is it?
I'm a young 36.
Okay, so that's wonderful. First of all, and so how old were you when you first started?
I started smoking pot and drinking at the age of 14.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Makes,
Late
okay.
bloomer.
Yeah, kind of.
No, that's like me. Anyway, okay, go ahead. It's your story.
No,
Well,
yeah.
girls mature faster.
Yeah, so like looking back on it, it was definitely a time where I was an adolescent trying to fit in and trying to find my way, and I found a lot of solace in drugs and alcohol. I also was an athlete, so I loved playing sports, and I think looking back on it, I definitely got that. I had that gene where I just, kept going, got obsessive over things.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Anything.
All in.
All in. And that for me, my first love was baseball, and I played baseball. But what I found was when I drank, I was able to be 100% in the moment, just like I was on that field.
Really?
So it became an opportunity for me to be able to do it whenever,
Sure.
And
Were you out in the outfield, infield?
I was an infielder and I was a pitcher.
So shortstop,
Lord.
second baseman?
Shortstop.
I want you to call the Boston Red Sox as soon as you go home because they definitely need to get help. Go ahead.
Well, I'm a Yankees fan, so
Whatever.
I don't know what I would do.
Jeez.
No, I'm sorry.
Stop it, everybody.
I know what my kid played first base, but we're Cub fans.
All right.
There's a Cub fan in
Pretty
the
good this
audience,
year.
yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wasn't the type of kid that got into a lot of trouble. I basically was able to skate by my whole adolescence, my high school years. Well, what was happening though was I was drawing lines in the sand and I was stepping over them, and my morals started to get pretty
Loose?
diminished over time. Yeah.
Like what way? Give us an example of how your morals went down the toilet.
So, when I first started drinking and drugging, I said I would never steal. And before long, I started stealing from my family, stuff like that. I'd like to rewind a little bit and say a little bit about before I drank and drugged. I had a really, really loving and supportive family. I really did.
Yeah.
And when I went to treatment for the first time, I heard people that had a lot of circumstances that made sense to me why they would want to numb.
Yeah.
And that was not my story.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of childhood abuse or anything like that. I had a lot of love, support. They always told me I could be whatever I wanted. But I still ended up going down the path of drug addiction and alcoholism, and I truly believe that I was, genetically disposed to that. I have alcoholics and addicts in my family, but I also have recovery in my family. So I remember sitting in treatment being like, I don't feel exactly like these people because I had a very, a good childhood. But I definitely found my best friend in pot and alcohol, definitely.
Did it progress?
It did, yeah. Over time, I was the type of kid that would try anything. My high school buddies would find something that they found at the gas station. I think 20 years ago, it was this stuff called salvia. And they'd be like, oh, let's get it. Mike will try it. And I would make a fool of myself. And that's just how my personality was. I was almost a little bit clownish, and I would do anything. I had no fears. So
was it like the commercial? Let's get Mikey to try it. Mikey eats anything. That's
Exactly.
an old commercial for those of you under the age of 40, let's say. So all right, so you try anything. You're a garbage can. Correct. We don't know what it's going to do to us, so get Mikey to try it.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. And eventually, I never found anything that I really didn't like. Everything that got me out of myself was another substance. I may have liked more than others, but that all changed when I went to college and I was introduced to opioid pain medication.
Because you were because of pain, or
No.
just here,
No.
take one of these, Mikey. Mikey will try anything.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Crushing them up and snorting them,
Yeah.
melting them down and booting them. What are you doing?
I was snorting though.
What?
Yeah, I was snorting them.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it was it was probably 2008, and that was the time when
Yeah, that was the
you
time for it.
That was the time when they were all over the place, and before long they're on a college campus, and I had never tried that yet, and it seemed like a wonderful idea, and I definitely felt its grip right away.
Did you know in the beginning what opiates were? Did you know that if I take these pills, eventually I'm going to become physically dependent on it? Did you know that and do it anyway?
I don't know if I had that cognizant thought. I think if you sat me down and asked me, but I'm the type of impulsive addict that it doesn't even come across my mind when that first or second time it was here, look, we're selling these now, and it's all of a sudden my ears perk up, and I'm with the rest of the crowd.
And how did now that's opiates is, as we know, has grown into at one point heroin turned into fentanyl, and fentanyl just killed a whole bunch of people, which still does to this day. How did your opiate use progress?
So pretty much from the first time, it became a daily thing. And, just like we know with this cycle of addiction, your tolerance goes up, the withdrawals start happening.
Yeah.
And I'm all of a sudden a month in, and I'm having those withdrawal symptoms. My mental health is declining. And I am at a place where I'm in a bigger hole than I've ever felt before.
Okay, so you live to use and use to live, basically, because if you're not getting, we use to the point where we have to take so much just to be well, is what we call it. And were you at that point?
I was at that point, yep, and I was 20 years old. I was in college,
Jesus.
and I was trying to still manage. You know, I had those good morals and values that I was grown up with, so I would do things that were that I felt guilty and shameful about. And
Is that something you want to talk about, or would you rather not?
about those
The
things.
stuff that, yeah.
I mean, it was mostly surrounding like getting one more. So stealing, lying, cheating, doing things. I remember in college, like I was so fearless that it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I walked down the hall and I knew everybody was sleeping in their rooms.
Yeah.
And I was just opening up doors, walking in, knowing they were sleeping, and just ransacking them while they were sleeping.
See,
Wow.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
like-
Yeah, right there. Okay.
I knew
Not
you
that
wanted
that's
a
a
little
fun
story.
thing to do.
Do you
but
get a
what
little
we-
bit of a rush when you say that?
A little bit. I
And-
mean,
and
you
isn't
know,
that
saw
weird?
that like little smirk come up on my face.
When I stole my car back from him, that was like the highest high that I have ever had in sobriety. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I woke up with the police banging on my door because they had videos of it, and and all 30 kids on campus wanting to beat me up.
Sure.
So, you know, and I got out of it, and it was one of those things where
How?
I didn't have many consequences. Well, I
Wow.
told the cop that I had to go to the bathroom. I had 6 iPhones in my cargo shorts. And when I went in the bathroom, he walked out first. I quickly put them in the ceiling tiles and told him I didn't have anything, and if he wasn't going to arrest me, he had to leave.
What a smart ass.
Sean,
Okay.
Sean always used the ceiling, John.
Yeah.
Ceiling
People
tiles.
don't look up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Now, so, all right, so, but the people in the dorm know that you're doing this
They
stuff.
saw me, yeah.
And give us, what happened? And then there's
So-
more. What
yeah,
happened now?
of course they said,
I'm hooked.
Your boy Mike over there, they're telling through people, robbed us last night. Like, he better give us something back or we're going to have a problem. And we had some problems. I did end up giving a couple of the phones back. Well, you know, what is illuminated in this story is, like, I was not a bad kid in the sense that, like, my judgment was clouded where if I thought I could use with doing something, I was going to do it. And that next day when I woke up, I wasn't happy that I had 6
Right.
phones on me. I was filled with guilt, shame, and remorse,
Okay.
which fueled me for more using and drinking.
Now, you're an Italian heritage. Your dad, at the time, was he aware of your decline?
My father was more of he was more of a backseat. I'm like the stereotypical, like, strong Italian mother. So she was the disciplinary force. She was the one that knew at all times.
My point is that different backgrounds have different ways of discipline and stuff like that. And the Italian family that lived right next to me, they were taskmasters with the children in their neighborhood where my parents might not have been. And so you talk about the morals and stuff like that. That's instilled from you from a very young age.
Absolutely, yeah. And my mother had a tough upbringing, so she had a lot of addiction in her family, so she knew the warning signs right away. My aunt, who's here today, is 25 years clean from...
Is that Auntie P?
Yeah. So my mother...
Is she a good cook?
Not the best,
All
not
right,
as good as my
that's
mom.
It's disheartening. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But she was using heroin much before me, and my mother and her are like sisters. They're very close. So my mom had to deal with knowing that she was going down the wrong path. I mean, when I was 11 and 12 years old, she brought us to her rehab to see her. She brought us to bail her out of jail. So
Wow.
it was very much like in my mind that, like, this thing is real and this could happen to me too. I just didn't care. I say all that to say that my mom knew what was going on. And my aunt did end up getting sober when I was 11, and she ended up staying in our house. And it was really a meaningful part of my life because she included me in her recovery.
Yeah.
We would put a star on her calendar every day she had sober. And it's really it's a heartful thing for me because, like, I would like to get across that, like, addiction runs in families, but also recovery does.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's the
That's a
positive
great
side
point.
of it. And we're going to get to that. But I want to know how bad it got and when the light went on that said, I can't do this anymore.
So after, those college days, I left school. I couldn't do it anymore. I was living in my parents' basement, and I was holding them emotionally hostage, stealing from them everything, and just holding my mental health over their head, saying things very hurtful that I would hurt them myself if they didn't give in to what I wanted to do. It got to the point where I was doing much harder drugs.
That's what I was going to ask, if you ever progressed past pain pills.
Yep, I progressed to heroin in North Jersey. At the time in North Jersey, a Percocet 30 was $25, and you're going to have some guy that tells you, hey, a bag of heroin's $5, and you're sick, and you got $20, you can get 4 bags of heroin, or you can't even get a pill, and that was where that led.
Not a lot of math in that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I progressed onto that, and I'm at a point where my mother, loved me so much, but she wasn't able to see me, killing myself anymore. So she kicked me out of the house, but she was a enabling Italian, loving mother. So she
Brought you spaghetti?
She told me, pretty much, she told me that I had to leave. So I was like, all right, I got in my car, and there was a bed made up in my back seat. And then there was like gift cards in my glove compartment.
Really?
And I recognize that as being a parent today as being such a hard decision that she had to make.
Yeah, sure.
Where she felt that she had to take care of me while still putting me out on the street. And I don't wish that for any parent. Thinking about that place that she was in. I tell it like it's a funny story today, and I laugh at these types of things. But
well, it's very sweet. And I thought about the opposite, about the people who have to actually shut off and not speak to the person, and the damage that does to both the family and the addict, and how hard that is, and yet it has to be done.
Yeah, sometimes that's the only way for someone to realize that they have to change.
Was your aunt involved at this time?
I'm sure she was giving a lot of guidance to my mom. She stayed out of telling me what I had to do. She really, lived by the principles of attraction rather than promotion. So I knew that, getting into recovery, going into 12-step meetings, lives do change. But she didn't really insert herself too much in the day-to-day.
Right.
But after that night, I got, I wasn't good at being homeless. So I broke back into my parents' house, overslept, and they woke me up with my bags packed, and they told me I was going to Florida. This was in 2010.
Really?
Yeah, back then, everybody
They thought
from the
Florida
north-
was a good place to send you, or?
A lot of the treatment centers back then in 2010, most of the people I knew from North Jersey came down to Florida to go to treatment.
Where did you go?
I went to a place called Lakeview Health in Jacksonville, Florida, which is still up and running. It's a great treatment center.
Yeah, and so they just said, this is it, you're going, and you just said, I got no options, I'm going to.
Correct.
What was your thought pattern on the way to treatment? What were you thinking?
That they were overreacting a little bit, that I got put in this situation where I was physically addicted to substances, but I wasn't a drug addict,
Yeah, not that bad.
That my girlfriend really needed me, the 20-year-old kid who didn't have a job and slept in his parents' basement, that she wasn't going to survive without me. Those were the things I was thinking as a 21-year-old on his way to treatment.
All right.
And that's what when you were talking about just walking into people's rooms and doing things and being so bold, the thing that happens to young people naturally, where what's the word I want?
Impulsive.
No, where we think that nothing bad's going to happen to us, that we're invincible, and you also get that from drugs, and so that we just think nothing bad can happen,
Right.
and everything's okay.
And then, like Mike said, it's well, they probably overreacted. I could use this, but I don't need this. Was that a road? Did that put up some walls against accepting recovery when you went to Jacksonville?
100%. Yeah. I remember, and this is not her fault, but I remember my sister saying something like, Mom and Dad said it wouldn't be a problem if you just smoked pot and drank beer, but it's a problem that you're doing the hard stuff.
Good now.
My mom said stuff like that.
Yeah. So, all right, so you go to Jacksonville.
I go to Jacksonville, and I wanted to leave right away, but they told me that they would, they'd Baker Act me if I left, which I don't think they could have done, but it was.
The treatment center told you that?
Yeah. They said, if you walk out of here, you don't know where you are, you have no money, we'll Baker Act you. And I didn't know what that meant.
Well, they couldn't have done that, but did that save your life?
It ended up being a godsend, yes, 100%. Because I stayed, and before long, I started to, I feel okay. I remember sitting around a smoking table and laughing, and it had been a really long time since I had like a genuine human connection with another person and had some joy. I remember they used to give us a couple dollars for the vending machine, and like going to sleep with $5 and waking up the next day with $5 like blew my mind.
Yeah.
And not getting up in the middle of the night and stealing from the other clients. That was good too. Yes.
Yeah, I stopped looking in other people's medicine cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great thing, yeah.
And I stole from you. So here we are. Okay. So, all right. So now you go through the first 28 days like you typically would.
Correct.
And then after that, what was the next step for you?
They told me I should go to a recovery residence, but I had to get back to that
Of
girlfriend.
course you
Yeah.
did.
I had
Of
to
course
go
you
back
did.
to New Jersey.
So what happened next?
So of course I went home and you know, pot and alcohol never hurt me. It was
No.
the hard stuff.
No, yeah, sure.
So I, you know, smoked a joint the day I got out, and
Then
I
shot some heroin after that?
No, well, it took a little bit.
Celebrate.
But you know, I tried to act like a normal drinker, right? That great obsession that we have, and that led a 2-year period in which I tried to do everything except go to 12-step fellowship and manage my life.
Like,
I went to a doctor. At that point, the Vivitrol shot came out.
Oh, yeah.
That was right
Okay.
around that time. I went to a doctor and I was like, they cured addiction. You can get a shot that you can't get high on. So I went to rehab and I got that shot. But what happened was, yeah, you can't do opiates or alcohol on it. It won't work. But
you
you
can
can
smoke crack.
definitely smoke crack.
You can smoke crack.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly what happened.
All right.
But that was a valuable lesson for me. Like, I had to be that person that banged his head on the wall and tried everything, and that was a valuable example for me that like it's not about the substances, because like when you take one away from me, I'm still gonna do the other one,
Yeah.
and I am a true garbage can of a human when I'm in my addiction.
When was your last use? What's your sobriety date?
My sobriety date is December 29th, 2012.
And first of all,
yeah. We're December babies.
Yeah.
do you remember clearly what happened? That, you know, you got that last, whatever happened right then and there. What happened right then and there? On just like, what happened? You did it and said it didn't work. You did it and said you got arrested. What happened?
My bottom was actually during a hurricane in New Jersey. Hurricane Sandy hit in
Yeah.
October
Yeah,
of
that was
2012.
devastating. Yeah.
And my cousin came over, and I had no friends at the time, but she brought some liquor over because she was living in a flood zone. My parents were vacationing in Florida, and I ended up taking the alcohol from her. And when I get a couple drinks in me, all I want next is cocaine.
Me
and
too.
I started driving in a Category 4 hurricane.
Yeah,
through
I would have done it.
into the hood, and did a lot of things that I didn't, you know, I had a lot of guilt, shame, and remorse that next morning, enough to motivate me to say that I could not do this
That's
anymore.
it, that was
and I'm
it.
extremely grateful for that,
Yeah.
you know, at
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, like wanting to die.
Yeah.
Because I hardly ever said that. I'm never doing this again. A lot of people said, I'm never doing this again. I never said that until the very end.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and it still took me 2 more months, you know. I called them, but I was like, I still want to, you know, celebrate the holidays with my family.
Yeah.
And so I ended up going to treatment on December 29th. And,
Where?
December 28th. I went back to Lakeview Health in
Did they
Jacksonville.
remember you?
They did. A couple
did?
people did. But this time my attitude was completely different. I told them I wanted this specific therapist that was the hardest, and they were like, no one ever tells us that they want her. And I was like, I want to get it this time. Like, I had a recovery residence planned within the first 2 weeks because I knew that that's what they recommended. And that motivation for change was just there for me in treatment this time.
And then you went 28 days again,
Correct.
sober living
I did sober living, yep.
with them.
It wasn't associated with them, but I did
In
their
the area?
IOP, and I did their sober living
Start
right
going
there.
to 12-step meetings.
Right away.
Get a sponsor.
Right away.
Work some steps.
Yes.
Do service work.
Correct.
Stay sober
So
Stayed
from that
sober.
time?
Yep.
And
All right.
yeah.
I
And
do
that's,
have an example of myself not working the program at about 90 days sober, though, if you'd like to hear.
we do.
All right. So
Absolutely do.
I'm gung-ho, like I said. Day one, I'm balls to the walls, like my butt's on fire, and I need recovery. By like day 45, I'm in this halfway house, and it wasn't the best place. There was men and women that lived in this halfway house. So all of a sudden, my character defects are coming out with, getting attention from the other sex and kind of not really doing the deal. And I have a sponsor, and I'm trying to like kind of do it, but not all the way. And at 90 days, I ended up walking into a department store, and my buddy was with me, and there was a cop out front, and I looked at him and I was like, hey, dude, there's a cop out front. Don't be a delinquent like you are. Just messing with him. And in an impulsive minute, I stole a pair of sunglasses
Oh my gosh.
from Kohl's. I walked outside, and I got immediately arrested on my
Nice.
90 days sober.
Nice. That's a God thing right there.
Right there, because
Yeah.
I went to a meeting that night. My sponsor told me to tell him myself, and some gentleman in the back of the room said, he cross-talked. He didn't even let me finish. He said, I'm glad you got caught today, kid. And it's another example for me that, like, okay, take substances away from me. I am still impulsive if I'm not doing the work. Like, the 12 steps is what restored me back to sanity. I
Yes.
hadn't done them yet, and I'm still acting like the same person I did before.
Right. Because if I'm an alcoholic and I'm a thief and I just put the booze down, I'm still a thief.
Exactly.
There's got to be some sort of, I don't have a drinking problem, I got a thinking problem, and if I change the way I think, then I change the way I live. I might say that too much.
But have you a sufficient substitute?
Oh,
There you
yes, and a little bit more.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why this big book thumper here is on.
100%.
Anyway, so God is a God of restoration. God is a God of transformation. What do you do for work today?
I'm the director of operations at a drug and alcohol treatment center.
Give it back.
How the heck does that happen? How the heck does that happen? This is the juice of the stuff right here. This is what fires you up. That we don't no longer have to drink or drug or hurt the people we love and that love us, and we can go and become what God have a purpose and what God wants us to do.
However,
Because
Chuck Chamberlain always said, you have to do it for free and for fun. So what you do at work, it counts. It counts for millions of people.
Sure.
But
Oh, no doubt. You have to keep
that's a
your-
good point.
Yeah.
So I work for somebody like you.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
And yes, in fact, I won't say anymore because I don't want to. Never mind.
I know.
So you work for him? No. Okay,
Not
I
really.
said it.
No.
There it is. I said it.
That's
so
not
what?
true.
Okay.
Michael Scott.
So anyway, do you do like my recovery starts when I wake up. It does when I walk into work. It's a wonderful thing, a blessing. Then my recovery starts again when I walk out the door. I still do my commitments. I still have a home group. I still have a service group commitment. I still pray. I still do inventory with my sponsor because I am scared. Because
Yeah.
there's no way that is going to happen to me again. If there's anything that this great Lord can do for me is to prevent me from doing that again. And if he wants me to do X, Y, Z, or if you want me to do X, Y, Z, then I'm going to do it because I'll do whatever it takes not to go back.
Yeah, and it's prevalent in this field. I ended up going back to school and getting my social work degree and my master's degree in social work, and they talk a lot about, burnout within the field.
Yeah.
Well, you have burnout within the field, but you also have someone who's in recovery that may think that their job is now their recovery.
Yes.
It's a recipe for disaster. So keeping our cups full personally and as a person in recovery is so important because, I've been at that, at my place of employment for over 10 years now. So I've seen tons of people put their profession first that may have to do with recovery, and before long they let everything slip to where they can't help anybody because they're not helping themselves.
And that's in any profession also. You put your work first, your sobriety is going to take a second seat.
A backseat, right?
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
got to put that higher power and recovery before everything, or else I'm not going to have anything.
And people who are addicted to everything get addicted to work.
Yeah.
For me, my journey into working in addiction, I feel like was another God moment, if you have a second to hear it.
I
Yeah,
think we do.
Wonderful.
I think we do.
I got
Time's up.
I got
No,
a
just
job.
kidding.
I got a job down here in Southwest Florida stocking shelves, which I felt like was an amazing job in early recovery because I worked from 4 a.m. till 12 p.m. every day. So I was able to go to a meeting every day. My recovery was on fire. I was able to build a fellowship around me. I got involved in FICIPA, which is the Florida Conference of Young People in AA, and I started doing a lot with them. But I wasn't the best at waking up at 4 a.m. So about 2 years in, right around 2 years, I got fired, and the guy said to me, "You are our best employee, but you are not able to get here at 4, gotta let you go." So I had fear cropped up, and I did not know what I was gonna do next. I was in school, but I hadn't declared a major. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And this gentleman that I met one time in a meeting before randomly came up to me after an AA meeting and stuck his hand out and said, "Hey, good to see you again." We had this New Jersey connection. And he said, "What do you do for work?" And I said, it's funny you say that. I actually got fired yesterday. And he said, "Wonderful. I am running a department at a drug and alcohol treatment center that just opened, and I think you'd be a great person to work there." So,
Is that the current company?
correct.
Very good. Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. And see, these are all God things.
100%.
This is what happens if when I'm doing the next right thing and doing stuff with even the right thing when nobody's looking, good things happen.
100%.
Good things happen. Relationships get restored. The relationship between my co-host wasn't always as good as it is right now. I know you're saying that's not possible, but that's possible. And it's just a wonderful thing what we have. Mike, look into the camera if you can find the camera. I don't know where the camera is, but it's somewhere out there. And say some encouraging words to somebody that might be struggling.
Oh, don't give up. I don't care if you have tried 15, 20, 30 times. The help is out there. A lot of people out there are willing to help. It ends up helping us more than you ever even know, helping you. And just take that step. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness is all you need to start.
And the thing about coming back to treatment, we're always glad to just see you. Just come back. Just come in the door.
Yep.
Give Mike a nice round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So we're going to have a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have somebody you know very well that's going to come up and talk about a new business.
Wonderful.
Can
All
I?
right.
Can I do that? Can I? It's his
Swap
wife.
him out.
It's his wife, Megan.
Yeah, you're telling everything.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedR4Recovery.com.
Struggling with life's challenges? At The Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bail Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bail Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bail Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all angels.
Oh, welcome back to Rated R for Recovery. Rated R for the number 4 recovery.com. Remember that we have T-shirts for sale that with the Rated R for Recovery logo. Eileen, would you stand up and show the group the Rated R for Recovery?
Show that
T-shirt?
shirt.
Yes, yes.
Right. So Eileen is actually part of our team, and we got some exciting news, Joy.
What is it?
Well, you heard of podcastplayground.com?
I have recently.
Yes. Well, that by partnering with them, Kimmy's Recovery Zone, Rated R for Recovery, has partnered with podcastplayground.com, which puts us on Apple Music, Spotify, and Pandora. And
Torture for everyone.
So yes, we want to clap for that? Think so? Yep. And I believe there's a certain treatment center that's going to be busing their clients over anytime soon.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes. Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's his decision, isn't it?
I don't know.
You don't want to get into that, right?
No,
You
no.
got to be politically correct. I'm flying off the seat of
You
my pants
are.
right
You
now.
are out of
and I'm going to
hand.
say anything. All right, so everybody, welcome Megan Palumbo to the show. Megan, why are you here?
Because Al and Heidi asked me to be here,
Well, I
and
know.
I never say no to them.
Okay, but what's going on with you right now? What are you doing?
Okay, well, I'm here today, of course, to support my husband, who we just heard his story, but also to talk about our recovery greeting card company, Celebrity Designs, which you can see in the back. We set up a table for you guys. Anything you see on the table is yours for the taking, and then we'll talk about a little campaign that we have as
I
well
love that.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, when we first met, and Mike, you were terrific tonight. That story just really grabbed me, man. God bless you. A lot of strength there, pal. But anyway, Meg, I wanted to say a few things about Meg before we get started, too. And also want to say hi to Heidi. She's on a business trip.
Hey, Heidi.
And so anyway,
Heidi, hi.
Trip.
I want to make sure I do that, But, and I also want to thank Mark for all he's doing for us.
Yes,
I
everybody,
appreciate it.
our whole tech booth,
Thank
not
you,
just Mark,
Mark.
the whole tech booth.
Yeah, the whole thing. So, me and Meg met a long time ago when I was working as a club manager at Lexington Country Club. And somebody said to me, Al, you're starting this RCO and you got to meet somebody, and that she's really going to set this world on fire. She had a lot of faith and hope in Meg, and Meg walked in that door and she was like a little angel walking in.
Wow.
Mike, I hope you don't mind me calling her an angel. She's such an angel. God bless the both of you, 2 angels. But she walked into Lexington Country Club, and we had a conversation about recovery. And she really turned me on to things that I thought I knew and I didn't know.
Wow.
And then she come aboard with Kimmy's Recovery Zone very early, and brought us a long, long way. I'm so grateful for us meeting, and grateful for what you do for the recovery world.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. She got goosebumps.
I know.
So Al,
So go ahead.
so Megan's got this wonderful thing that she's developed. Have you heard about it?
Yes, I did, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about that. It's a little bit strange, but you tell us about it.
How did you come up with the idea?
So I got sober when I was 22, back in 2012. So I like to say a couple months before Mike.
Had to throw that in there, didn't you?
No. And when I got sober, I'm a doodler. I always was. In school, I was the one like doodling on the side of the margins and everything. I love fonts. I love typography. I love art. I think we all know that in addiction, we cause a lot of destruction. And my sponsor told me early on, when you're creating, you're not destroying.
Oh, yeah.
And I got really into art when I got sober, and it really helped my recovery process. So I would take little like quotes that meant something to me, whether something I heard at a meeting or read from some recovery literature, and I would make cards out of them. And as you know, if you're in recovery or ever had to celebrate somebody in recovery, you can't find a happy 5 years clean card in your local grocery store. We have to kind of get the birthday cards, right?
Right, and cross out words or
Yes.
look for something that's kind of like something,
Yes.
you did it, congratulations.
So people used to tell me I would make cards for my friends. One of my favorite things about recovery was celebrating people in recovery and the way people celebrate each other in recovery, especially if you've been to a convention and everyone's dancing on their chairs during a countdown. If you haven't had that experience yet, get to one. Every fellowship has them. If you ever see a sobriety countdown or a clean time countdown, it's really powerful. And that's just something, I'm a party girl, right? I came in and I thought my life was over. I thought the party was over, and really, it had just begun. And celebrating recovery was such a big part of my own recovery. And what I mean by that is all throughout my first year of recovery, people, just like Mike had mentioned, his family was so supportive of his recovery process. I'm realizing that that's an anomaly today. The reality of mental illness and addiction is it destroys and tears apart families.
And it's lack of understanding more than, anything else. Well,
Right.
And broken hearts. It's really hard to mend a broken heart.
I have I have a shoebox of all the cards that were sent to me in my first year of recovery of people just encouraging me, telling me, that I'm doing great and we believe in you, and just these really powerful messages. And I think, like on our birthday, we talk about greeting cards, for occasions and milestones. But for somebody recovering from addiction or mental illness, sometimes getting out of bed is a milestone.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, and I think the card, how wonderful that is, because we don't get a lot of things, gifts that I call cards a gift. We don't get a lot of things, and somebody coming out and just giving that to a stranger, I think that's fantastic, and it makes you feel good. I have cards, because I didn't get many cards either. I still don't. A lot of people forgot my birthday this year.
That's because
I'm sure
they didn't have greeting cards back in our day.
I really like him saying that. You're probably right. But it's funny, I was looking in my chest the other day and I saw cards that I got many, many years ago, and that's how important. I wouldn't throw them out as many times as I moved around. So what you're doing really puts some love into that business that you made.
Well, and you think about, like John, the last time you wrote a birthday card for somebody, think back to it. What did you write?
Don't have to, it was last week.
So what did you write in the card? Like, and anyone in the audience, the last birthday or graduation is graduation season.
Well,
the last card you wrote to a person, what did you write about that person to them in that card?
Last Friday was I didn't have any children, biological children, but I went through a relationship that was toxic. But what came out of that relationship is 3 wonderful stepdaughters.
Yeah.
And so my middle stepdaughter graduated from high school last week.
Oh, wow.
And so I wrote, Dear Sabrina with a Z, by the way, not Sabrina, Sabrina. I said, you've gone through so much and been through so much, and you're coming out shining like a diamond. I can't wait to see what God has for you. Happy birthday, love, John.
I love that.
Happy graduation. love.
And so that is pretty much the principle of, imagine getting that message on a random Tuesday. You know, and Mike said it in his story earlier when he was in treatment, right? And he had that first belly laugh, and he felt that human connection. And we hear all the time in recovery that the opposite of addiction is not recovery. The opposite of addiction is connection. And our lives today, I mean, they're just filled. We were talking about it on the way here. I mean, we're not connected, you know, and it takes we look at the second leading cause of death for our youth is suicide.
Yeah.
You know, the story about Kevin Hines, I believe, he said if one person, the day that he decided he was going to take his own life, he went to the Golden Gate Bridge, and he said if one person had asked him that day how he was doing, he would have told them, and nobody asked. You know, it really makes you think about how we can take that pause in our lives and reach out to somebody, and don't wait until the occasion. Celebrate life between the lines and let somebody know how much you mean to them. They don't have to be in recovery or, you know, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes getting a special message for somebody could be right on time for someone. And so we started this greeting card company. It was kind of funny how it all started, but pretty much forced us to legitimize in 2019. And by the way, I totally doubted myself. I was like, I'm not good enough to have I'm not an artist. I just like to doodle things. And, you know, I'll tell you, if you are in the audience, if you're new in recovery, if you have a dream, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And if you continue to doubt yourself, you know, you'll never get to experience what we get to experience today. So like today, I started as a greeting card company that I didn't believe in 2019, and we just hit our 25,000th card sold last year.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing. How come, well, I shouldn't say because it's not about me, but I never knew about this. Al, did you know about this?
About it a lot,
yes, I did.
Why didn't you tell me?
I kept it a secret from you, John.
Al, you got some stuff in front of you there.
I know. I don't know what they are.
Oh, that's what that
They're
is.
stickers.
They're stickers.
We had to get into the sticker market.
I was wondering what child had been playing up here. I'm serious. I was like, oh, we got some stickers.
Yeah. They're good.
Well, we like to put them on our water bottles today and our books, and and they're little fun, you know, little messages, road of happy destiny, you know, but
Did you spell it correctly?
The whole idea behind Celebrity Designs, again, it started on this idea of connection. And so if you notice, I said 2019 is when it started, and we went into a global pandemic in 2020. And I've worked in the behavioral health field for almost 10 years now. I was working in an inpatient psychiatric hospital. And I noticed that during visitation, not a lot of people had visitors. And then during the lockdowns, nobody had visitors. Right. And we said, how can we keep that connection going? And so we started this campaign called Strength from a Stranger. And we put it live on our website, and we put out this huge message to people: go on our website, fill out this card, we'll handwrite them with our volunteers, and we're gonna deliver them to treatment centers for people to get messages from strangers. And we were able to deliver 500 cards throughout the pandemic to like local treatment centers, and they were messages from people from all across the country, from all pathways of recovery, from all walks of life, just planting a seed of hope.
What is the best way to get in touch with you and get some of these cards?
So you can go to the back. We have some information. Back, you go to www.celebritydesigns.com. We wholesale, so we're in recovery shops all across the country: California, Colorado, North Carolina. It's so cool to even be able to say that. And I don't say that to brag, and I don't say the 25,000. Like when I say that, my recovery has changed a lot. Our lives change. As you can see, I'm expecting my second boy,
Yes.
who is now like,
Yes, yes.
we are.
Would that be Al, or you're having a baby? I'm just, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
Call the ambulance.
Well,
Second boy I did.
And it's like a true family-owned business now. Like Luca, our little soon-to-be 3-year-old, loves getting all of the labels out of the printer and bringing them to Mike, who packs and ships all of our orders. And every day, there's some days where I can't get to a meeting. I used to go to meetings every day, sometimes multiple times a day early in my recovery, and my life doesn't look like that today. But what I do get to see is that somebody from Hawaii ordered a couple cards from me, and I get to think about that person in recovery in Hawaii who's celebrating 3 other people in recovery in Hawaii.
That's awesome.
As we pack an order, and we do that every day, and I get to have my son be a part of that process and my husband be a part of that process. And we talk about this global epidemic when it comes to the opioid crisis in America. And what we don't talk about enough is that recovery is an epidemic too, and the amount of people that are here, that are recovering, that are ready to help, it's just really inspiring to be reminded of that through this.
That's lovely, and it's one of the few places where in this world where we're all staring like this at a phone or a tablet or something, that recovery is one of the places where people still get together on a regular basis to do that connection.
And that's why what we're talking about here is so important. And I do little things. I think I come into work and I mention it to the people. I start talking to people. They could be strange people that I never met before. I just have to start having a conversation. And it's amazing how they open up today. And it didn't used to be. They tell not only their story, but they tell the story. It goes into recovery. I went to a doctor's office yesterday morning. I talked to the girl up front a little longer than maybe we should have talked. And then I told her what I did, and then she said, yes, my brother passed away he overdosed. And they want to talk, but we don't talk to each other anymore. And your connection is a fantastic way to do it. Talk to a stranger or send something to a stranger.
When you said that, I think back to when Joy and I started this project together years ago. What year?
2013.
Thank you. When we started this project years ago, that the point was, and it's a sad statistic, it's a terrible statistic, but you just brought that up again, because you can go anywhere and you can ask anybody if they have a relative, a coworker, a neighbor that's had trouble with drug and alcohol addiction, and everybody says yes.
Yeah.
Everybody. I've never asked anybody and then have them say no, not really. Everybody.
Yeah.
In lieu of time, give the website one more time, please.
Oh, it's Celebrady, so my maiden name is Brady. So CELEBRADY, designs.com. And if you go on our website, you could go on the tab that says Strength from a Stranger. If you want to purchase a card and fill out a message, the proceeds will actually go to Kimmy's Recovery Zone, and the cards will be delivered by Kimmy's peers to local treatment centers, halfway houses, or just somebody that really needs a boost. So
I want 50 of them.
Please share.
I love that.
We want to really continue. It died down a little bit after COVID, so we're happy to get that campaign started up again.
And that started, again, what was the first year you were up and running? What year was that?
So we started the company in 2019. We started Strength from a Stranger in 2020, right around the
during
pandemic.
COVID when all that was happening. Unfortunately, I was smoking crack at that time, but not today. So there we go. All right.
You might have gotten one.
So Al, you got one more thing?
Yes, I just want to thank Meg here. And when you listen to Meg, I mean, it just drives you to goodness and love, man. Thank you, Meg. You're so wonderful. I love you.
Yeah.
We're going to take another commercial break. In the meantime, during the commercial break,
I got one.
That's what I thought. One more thing. Go ahead.
Okay, one more thing. Okay, bring it in. Social Zone tomorrow night. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. The Social Zone tomorrow night. We have Hooters is donating the food.
What is Social Zone?
And we want you to come there tomorrow and have a good time. It's a Serve Living event.
What time?
Come there. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
p.m.
Be there or be square.
7 to 11.
So,
all right.
During this commercial break, Megan will be in the back, and she'll be able to take orders and talk to you about the greeting card for sobriety.
Well, every member of our live studio audience today, I've been dying to say that.
Hurry up.
You get a card. You get a card.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Did you hear that?
So please, you get to choose a card or a sticker or both from the back. So we brought everything there for the taking. And it's a take a card, leave a card. So take one for yourself to give to somebody else, but also take the time to write a message on another card and leave it in the basket so that we could deliver it to somebody in treatment.
So I want everybody in this room to do that for somebody else. How's that? That's your assignment.
Yeah,
Very good.
let's do it
I'm a
tonight.
controlling person.
Do it.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, do the greeting cards. When we come back, Nashville recording artists Kelly and Alan Shervill, right here. Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com.
Struggling with life's challenges? At the Next Step, we're here to guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Whether it's counseling, recovery support, or simply finding hope, we provide the tools and community to help you rise. Take the first step toward healing today. Visit thenextstep.org and discover how we can support your journey to wellness. Remember, every step forward is a step toward a better you. The Next Step, your path to hope, starts here. With offices in Fort Myers and Naples, 844-639-8371.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bail Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bail Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bail Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Hello, I'm Michael Manzi, owner of JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673. When starting this company 3 years ago, I had no clue that we would grow to what we have become. There is one thing I can say that we have done from the beginning is take pride in our work, making sure every customer we do work for is satisfied from beginning to end. Offering residential painting all the way to commercial painting with jobs done in a timely manner, with highly skilled professionals giving you top-of-the-line work. To help you create your new look, call JCI Solutions, 239-672-2673.
Struggling with addiction? You're not alone. At Phoenix House Project, we believe in second chances and brighter tomorrows. Our proven programs offer support, hope, and tools to rebuild your life. With expert care and a community that understands, transformation starts here. It's time to rise, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. Visit phoenixhouseproject.squarespace.com today or call 239-244-7876. The journey to recovery begins with sober living. Phoenix House Project, where hope takes flight.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, where hope meets action. We're here to guide the journey from treatment to thriving, healthy living. With peer support, public education, and vital resources like housing, employment, and Narcan training, we're building stronger communities. Ready to make an impact? Together, we're creating a network of recovery, resilience, and renewed lives. Kimmy's Recovery Zone, your hub for healing and hope. Visit us online today at kimmysrecoveryzone.org. It's not how we survive, it's how we thrive.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Call it all angels.
Yeah, well, we're Alan and Kelly. Thanks for coming tonight, and thank you, Megan, for sharing your wonderful greeting cards with us. I'm sure they're a hit with everybody right now. We're going to play a couple of songs for you as we wrap up the night, and I know Alan wanted to say a quick word as well.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for your story tonight. I just wanted to say a quick extension of how God works. I moved down here in 2018, and I had about 4.5 years in recovery, and I was waiting tables. And I lived in New Jersey, and I spent a lot of money on this college that I was not making use of. I was just waiting tables, and nothing was working out. And I had about 4.5 years, and I went to this meeting all sad and self-pitied, and I started talking to a guy there. There was one guy, and he said, yeah, I just got out of this treatment center. I said, oh, I forgot. I really wanted to work at a treatment center. So the next day, I decided to fill out this application at a treatment center, and this is where I was actually able to meet Mike. And because of the college I went to and the prep school he had, both had the same name, it sort of gave us this connection. So talk about God setting up that job. And because of that, I got to meet him and know him, and you've been one of the best people that I've ever gotten to meet down here. And just thank you and your wife for everything that you do.
Yes, thank you for your story.
And inspired, we're going to do a song, What It Was Like, and then we're going to do a song, What It's Like Now. I walk to the mirror, stare at my hollow eyes.
Same lost and lonely look I swore off last time.
Thought I knew the 12 steps like the back of my hand. Am I just too weak? I don't understand. I tell myself I could only have just one, but I can't. I take a drink,
then the drink takes me
down a road of misery from my friends and family. It tells me lies that I believe. Truth is I never know just how far I'll go when the drink takes me. Crazy you don't act that way toward everyone. Guess that makes me the unlucky one. It steals every dime I got. I don't care if I live or not. I try to stay strong, but I fall a lot. And when the devil offers me a shot, I take a drink,
and the drink takes me
down a road of misery from my friends and family. It tells me lies, that I believe. Truth is I never know just how far I'll go when the drink takes me. I try to stay strong, but I fall a lot. And then the devil offers me a shot, and I take a drink.
Then the drink takes me
down a road of misery from my friends and family. And it tells me lies that I believe. Truth is I'll never know just how far I'll go when the drink takes me.
The drink takes me.
So that was What It Was Like.
Oh yeah, we have a CD release party that's going to be happening right here at Rated R for Recovery. It's going to be on July 3rd. Our CD comes out the following day, July 4th. So we're going to be spending the night playing some music, talking about our music and our recovery as well.
And John, when we say CD, John, we mean everything digital.
We do. We do also have some QR codes that are sitting up there on the banister, and a little card that will take you to all of our social media, etc.
This one's going out to you all. Thank you. We love you. I've had a lot of demons to battle down. Jumped out of planes, never left the ground. I made enough mistakes to fill a lifetime. but I'm still here. Heard old men talk about their regrets, taking the easy road with the safer bets. But I don't want to be a prisoner of my deep, dark fears. I'm just trying my best to live, so I don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if I don't try, never want to ask why. Didn't give everything I had to give. I'm just trying my best, I'm trying my best to live.
Trying my best.
Don't have to be near death to make a bucket list. Let imperfect love spoil a new first kiss. Wait till someone asks me to pitch in, lend a helping hand. You gotta take a lot of risks to ride the perfect wave. Lose a lot of golf balls, that's how the game is played. More I put into this life, I'll get it back times 10. I'm just trying my best to live, so I don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if I don't try, never want to ask why. Didn't give everything I had to give. I'm just trying my best, I'm trying my best to live with the fact I ain't Superman, but you bet I'm gonna live like I am. We're trying our best to live, so we don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if we don't try, never want to ask why. Didn't give everything we had to give. We're just trying our best, we're trying our best to live. We're trying our best to live. One day at a time. We love you all. Thank you.
Nice round of applause for Alan and Kelly. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching us. You can see us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, playgroundpodcast.com. Like us on the Facebook and pass us around. We got another great episode next week. See you then.